Hey guys, Sincere here from whoissincere.com. Just want to show you something with Jade Helm real quick. I mean, a lot of people have been putting it out there, but there really is some censorship that's actually going on. I'm here on a heavy news article here, and let's look at the title of the article. Here it is. Shots fired at soldiers during Jade Helm 15 training at Camp Shelby. 5 fast facts you need to know. All right. Anybody that's on the internet with any kind of, consistency, even if you've only shared one post, you already know that once you hit this little button right here, the Facebook share or the tweet, that title will become the main title of what you're sharing. So let's see what happens when we share something with the words Jade Helm 15 in it. Directly from a news site. Camp Shelby, shots fired at soldiers, 5 fast facts you need to know. Not a single mention of Jade Helm 15. So there you have it, guys. I'll make sure I leave a link here in the description so you guys could, check it out yourself. But, we have to take heed to these small little nuances in the programming techniques of these companies to minimize freedom of speech or to be able to take out things that they don't want the general public to talk about or to know. So there's a lot of underhanded things that are at play and with our government and a lot of these corporate interests. So we have to be mindful of that, and we have to always be vigilant in understanding that what you see is not always what you get. I mean, you look at a situation like this and you figure you'd hit that share button and say, well, I'm going to share this out. I don't see too much about Jade Helm anymore. Well, if people look on your wall and they see that, they still won't see anything about Jade Helm. So, this is something that's being a philosophy and a style of coding that's being adopted by all of the companies. You guys need to do your research into something called APIs. As a matter of fact, there's another company, Dabu7 was recently reporting on it. What he was saying I really didn't like, but that's a different matter of opinion. But there's a company, Zero Fox. I advise you guys to check them out. These are the kind of people that this is what they'll do. They'll see if you're a threat. And in the social media world, if you have the ability to activate large groups of people, or anything like that, they'll see if you're a threat. Now, if you are a threat, what they'll do is they'll analyze all your social media profiles, all your content, and they'll give this content to someone that buys it. And these companies that create APIs. That's pretty much how you're going to interface what's happening in the background after you hit that button on social media platforms and other platforms. But these companies sell your information so that it's like Zero Fox. They sell your information so that once it's included in the API, that API can have a broad range of functionality. I mean, APIs to me, they're kind of like the hidden hand of silence. They really are. They can silence you real quick, and because the coding could be written into Twitter or into Facebook, where if such and such shares whatever article, omit this. Or the API could just be a broad API, not really directed at a person, but at a topic. For any topics that would come into our network, like Facebook, omit these words, or using the alternate title. So when you have this going on, I mean, it's a direct. It directly shows the corporate nature of how they want to minimize your freedom of speech, as well as the government. So we have to be mindful in picking out where we see these things at. By all means, as soon as you hit the share button on something like this, Jade Helm, the whole title, just as it is right there, should pop up. But by the fact that it actually pops up like this, what we know here is, first of all, it's written differently. The Camp Shelby's at the beginning. So what we know is that it was just written like that. So they wrote it like that. That's what I'm trying to say is, it's not like they just threw the news article up and said, okay, just let it rip. No, they purposely went behind it, put another line of coding and said, and make sure that this is what's shared out once that share button is pressed. That's extra work. Why would you do the extra work? It doesn't make sense, right? So at the end of the day, we have to be mindful of how we're being oppressed. I'm just to be honest with you. Freedom of speech is being oppressed, and there's a lot of people that have enjoyed freedom of speech for a while, or think they've enjoyed it for a while. But now that people are starting to wake up, I believe, and realize, wait, hold on. This system of financial control, this system of religious control through this capitalist society, something's not clicking right. Something doesn't feel right with my spirit. Something doesn't sit right with my soul. People are starting to feel that. They're starting to speak up. They're starting to not look at Fox News. They're starting to look for independent alternative media, such as myself and other people on YouTube that are, putting out just good information that really care about humanity. So how do you silence that? Well, you have to silence that where those people are growing at, on the social platforms. And I hate to tell you guys, but Facebook is, when it comes to silencing people, Facebook they are the masters of it. Their algorithms for placing your stories across the news feed, there's some of if we had to deal with like the governments of social media, Facebook would be the tyrannical government of social media. Period. There is no freedom of speech or freedom of expression past what Facebook wants you to say on Facebook. Just to be honest with you. And if it's not exactly what they want you to say, well, it'll show up on your wall. Bet you it won't show up on anybody else's news feed. So they've managed to be able to minimize this rather effectively through the use of APIs and stuff like that. So I'd advise you guys, especially my technical savvy people out there, to get more involved with understanding this computer terminology and what's going on in the technology world, because it directly affects your life and reflects how well you will do in your life, because this is what they're playing with. So you got to learn it too. You have to learn it so you can learn how to combat it. If you don't know anything about it, you can't combat it, and they can just keep building and building and building, and before you know it, you're in a social media prison like Facebook. So me personally, I don't just live on Facebook. I have many profiles all over the internet, many websites. So I refuse to be silenced by fake book. I don't care about it. So do your research, guys. Go out here, check things out. Keep your eyes open for things like that. Whenever you click share on a button, what pops up? What does it say? You know what I mean? So I have a website. I know most of the time what it'll say, because it reads your tags a certain way. And when I share off of my website, it always reads the title. And most websites do the same thing. So unless you go in and change it like what's being done right here. So this is Sincere with whoissincere.com. Make sure you visit my website, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll talk to you the next time.